Hi Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your October 2021 new moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Sagittarius be affected by the October 2021 new moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh, goodness. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. So at the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. At our root, we have Lovers, which is Gemini energy. If we have Gemini within our natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully at our root. And then we have the Hierophant, which is Taurus energy. Again, if we have Taurus within our natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully at our root. We have the Eight of Pentacles, hard work acknowledged. The Maze, which is the Hierophant, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, the Hierophant, once again, in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. This is the Witch's Ways, I believe, deck. And the Hierophant is the equivalent of the Maze. So we have the Hierophant coming through twice here, affecting our inner selves and affecting our rooted selves. We're going to be looking at our traditions. It's not necessarily our cultural traditions or the traditions that we were born into. It is our traditions. It's the things that we need to do for ourselves that make us feel good, that makes us feel, prosperous and bountiful. That's coming up. And it can be that those are being tested at this time. We can feel very self-sacrificing, or we can feel very resentful for all the sacrifices that we have made, which with the energy of this moon, that pretty much sounds like the one that we're going through right now. We have the King of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, amplifying the Lover's energy right here with Gemini. All right. And there's just a sense of cutting through nonsense. Our hearts and our mind are really coming together. We're cutting through doubts and fears and negativity and really embracing what we want. There's a sense of no holds bars, like I'm going to say it exactly as I mean it. Then we have the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles for me is vampiric energy. So we have a tendency to hold on to things. It's like it's two ways. We're holding on to things and we're stopping the flow of the energy through us. Or we're not holding on to the right things and we're not setting up those barriers correctly. For a lot of you Sagittarius is here. For a lot of us, there's just a sense of I'm not creating the right barriers. I'm letting in the energy that I should be guarding against, and I'm keeping myself from the prosperous energy that I want to flow through me. So that's really quite interesting. We have the Six of Pentacles, which is that we need balance. Yes, they can feel like gifts at times, things coming from unexpected places, but we need things to be balanced, and we also need things to be fair, not to be taken advantage of. And then we have the Emperor, which is Aries energy. There is a sense of determination and focus and insight and ideas really coming forward and really moving us during this time. We're claiming our throne. We're claiming our power. We're not fooling around. We can be a little bit too hot-tempered. That makes sense because, first of all, we have the fire sign energy that is just us, Sagittarius, but we also have that energy of the Emperor coming in mixed with the Mars energy. And there's just a sense of, I'm ready for a fight. I'm ready for a fight. And if you're going to mess with me, I'll mess right back with you. So that's going to be something that we really have to be mindful of. Like, you're going to snip at me, I'll snip at you. You're going to do something that disrespects me or that, just shows complete disregard for things that I've asked you. Well, that's it. We can have an argument if that's what you want. That energy is really, really, really prevalent during this time. So do be mindful. All right, let's see the energy that we have to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Yeah, there we go. That fire sign energy that we were just talking about, the Queen of Wands comes through. And we can just be itching for a fight. And it can be for like 2 weeks before this new moon, 2 weeks after this new moon. We're like, okay, you know what? You want this? Fine. Let's just do this. Let's just get everything out into the open. Some things better left never said. Like, better left never said. We are going to be just a bit hot-tempered during this time. And it's because of the planetary alignment. It's because of the star alignment. We have to be mindful of this. We're also going to be very drawn to people who are itching for a fight too, because who better to get into a fight with, right, than somebody who is looking for a fight. So we have to be mindful of this, and we have to step back and say, no, not doing it. Let's look at our chakra energy, angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly, guide this reading. This one right here. Okay, perfect. Oh, and this one. So we have creativity, and we have the sacral chakra, and we have the solar plexus chakra. So we have creativity and we have personal power. Our creativity is going to be what gives us our personal power during this time. And there's this real sense of letting our sacral chakra shine forward, letting our personal power shine forward, knowing that we are claiming our voice. Now, we're doing so a little bit too intensely, but it can be after a long time of being silenced, a long time of feeling like we are being absolutely ignored. And this is a time that we start breaking out of our shell. It could actually be really cathartic and beneficial for us to just release all this negativity. The creative energy that we have here that's coming through, it's also going to be very powerful for us. And we can see ourselves being able to create and cultivate the way that we want to move forward instead of the way that we thought we should be moving forward. We're letting go of so much baggage during this time. We can really feel that within our hearts. Now, this new moon is in Libra, and that is the best thing that we can say about this new moon. It says a new romantic cycle begins. Yes, we start falling in love with our lives again. We start looking at a balance and an understanding. But, this moon comes with a lot of complexities. So let's just hear everything out. So with the new moon in Libra, it also brings harmony and balance and a strong sense of partnership. We're ready for something new to start. Now, this partnership can be romantic. This partnership could be work-related. This partnership could be, anything. Friendship. We can really see things, us driving with certain people and things really moving forward. Now, this new moon is the first new moon of fall or of spring, depending on where you are in the world. And as we embrace the change that this new moon brings forward, we also have to understand that the sun, the moon, Mercury, and Mars are all clustered around Libra at this time, offering us empowerment and intense energy. Now, this energy, because the new moon is the end of a 28-day cycle, the beginning of another, this burst of energy and initiative is usually the best time for starting a project, ending a project, really getting things moving. But this moon brings caution. We have the new moon conjunct Mars, and it is so important to come to this new moon with a high energy vibration, because if we don't, it just hits us right between the eyes. And so we have to be mindful of that. We can also kind of be self-medicating. okay, with certain things to make us calm. Now we can be finding that instead of having one glass of wine with dinner, we'll have two, we'll go out and smoke a cigarette or, smoke whatever to be able to calm down, to be able to center ourselves. We have to be mindful of becoming too reliant on any other substances to calm us. Now, I do recommend Calms or Rescue Remedy. I have no affiliation with these brands, but they really do help, and I've used them for years. Calm us, take the edge off of existence, and be able to stabilize us. We can also use homeopathy, curl up with a chamomile tea or just a cup of tea or hot cocoa to raise those dopamine levels, and serotonin, just to be able to center ourselves during this time. We can exercise, that would be a really good thing too, or go for a walk, whatever it is, to again raise those dopamine levels, raise the serotonin within us, be able to calm ourselves down. Because if we don't come to this new moon with the high energy vibration, the powerful energy of courage and initiative doesn't get used wisely. It gets wasted, it gets washed away. And this energy, if we don't recognize it, and if we don't recognize how we have to utilize this power within us, we find ourselves being hot-headed and a bit cruel. And that's going to be everybody. We're dealing with hotheads and cruel people. We're being hot-headed and a bit cruel. We're going to find ourselves wanting to say things just to get a reaction because we're irritated and we're a bit aggressive, and we have to acknowledge that within us. Or we could be a lot aggressive during this time. It depends on our personalities. Now, the new moon is going to be Quincus Uranus. This combo does not help calm anything down. Actually, it brings nervousness, tension, and anxiety. We feel like there's a change on the horizon. We can't pinpoint that change. We don't know what it is, and we're going to feel like I have to be ready for it. Like we're entering into this maze and we don't know how we're going to get out. So there's that anxiety level kind of ratcheted up to way past 10 during this time. What we need to do is we need to relax. We need to take time for self-care and for ourselves. We need to step into our own bodies and become aware of us and our emotions and everything that we're bringing to the table. Don't rush into anything. That's just going to cause us to stumble and to fall and to make rash decisions just because we want to. And that comes from Mars being Quincus Uranus. Now, again, this brings nervousness and anxious energy to the table. And we find ourselves losing our patience. We find ourselves needing to act, whether it's right or wrong. We just need to have a decision made to push things forward. We are going to find that we are rebellious for the sake of rebellion. Now, this can make us feel like we're 16 again if we were rebellious. Now, if we were never rebellious, Sagittarius, okay, this really knocks us for a loop because it's like, okay, what am I doing wrong? Why am I so angry? What's going on here? Am I rebelling against every single choice that I have made, every single thing that has gotten me to this point? And what does that mean? So this can really mess with our long-term goals, mess with our long-term vision for ourselves. It's going to be very easy to say, I'm done, and just walk away or not get the work done that we need to get done and not do the things that we need to do. So do be mindful of this during this time. It's a self-sabotaging time that we have to be aware of. The new moon and Mars are going to be aligned with Carvus the Crow. Now, Carvus the Crow, the best thing that we can say about the constellation of Carvus the Crow is that it thinks outside of the box. It has us thinking outside of the box, and it brings a lot of passion. Those are it. That's it. But what else can be said for Carvus the Crow is that it's greedy. It brings greed, dishonesty, vengefulness, spitefulness, selfishness, aggression to ourselves and to others. It's not just going to be, oh, okay, I'm going to be dishonest to other people, try to pull the wool over other people's eyes. I'm going to try and lie to myself. And that's really detrimental. We have to see that about us. And this is going to be everybody during this time. So we're not just singling out Sagittarius here. And this isn't meant to fearmonger. This isn't meant to try and, break us down at all. This is meant to give us the facts as they are so that we're forewarned and forearmed, so that we can protect ourselves from this energy, so that we can raise our energy vibration and be able to walk forward with knowledge and resilience, knowing what the heck is going on during this time. It's literally written in the stars. So with the constellation of Carvus the Crow, we have the fixed star Algorba. Now, Algorba is known as the kill or be killed star. So it brings this kill or be killed attitude. It's like, I'll get you before you get me. So it brings a backstabbing attitude. It brings a lot of complexity. And we have here the Lovers. We want to see everything beautiful. And, we have the Hierophant too. And the really interesting thing with Gemini and with Taurus, Gemini loves love. That's why they're represented by the Lovers. They want to do everything to have people love them, to have people, like them. And that can make them a bit flighty at times, yes. And that is definitely something that a Gemini is accused of time and time again. but it's also a sense of like, I know when to leave, and that energy is going to be coming forward with us during this time. The sense of, I know when to leave, but I need to know what I'm falling in love with. And we have the sensuality of the Taurus energy coming up. And that's the thing that people don't realize with Taurus, is that as stubborn and down to earth and as determined as they are, they're astoundingly sensitive and astoundingly sensual. They need to know that they are loved, to know that they are respected, to know that they are valued. And that's going to be something that really plays a big part with us during this time, this need for love, this need for recognition, this need for passion, this need for insight. And so with the lovers, we have to make sure that we are falling in love, not with an illusion, that we're not chasing the illusion of what society is trying to sell us, of what the world says we're supposed to have in order to be happy. That we are moving forward with this sense of, I am loving this because it is what I absolutely positively need within my life and love for myself. It's what builds me up. It's what leads me forward. It's my passion. It's my intensity. It's my desire. And as we acknowledge this, we acknowledge the fact that illusions are real. We can fall in love with the illusion, there we go, right here, of the beautiful woman, and then have her be a skeleton with a skull underneath. Have her be a siren that lures in what she thinks she is supposed to love, what she thinks she is supposed to devour and destroy. And a lot of times, that's the thing with love. We can talk about love like it just consumed me. It devoured me. It was so intense. It was so passionate. It burned so bright. So then what did we fall in love with? Did we fall in love with that high? The act of, thinking that we found something that is perfect? Or did we actually fall in love? Are we embracing what we love? Because a lot of times we embrace the ideal of what we have in our head, and the reality is quite different. And so here we're looking at love not for the illusion that it brings on his end or on her end. We fall in love with what we want, what we're passionate about, what we desire. And it leads us to our tradition. It leads us to our roots. It leads us to saying, but this is who I am. This is what I want within my life. This is what I need within my life. And this is how I need to move me forward. The Hierophant is the Pope in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And the Pope was the most powerful person in the medieval world. And so there is power here when we recognize who we are, when we recognize what we desire, how we're moving forward, what we want, where we need to be. And it brings us to the 8 of Earth. It brings us to our hard work paying off. But it also brings us to this place where we've accumulated all this knowledge. We've accumulated this craft. Now we get to utilize it. Now we get to move forward with it. Now we get to start recognizing the power and the intensity and the beauty within ourselves. And this is also going to be recognized by others. Now, is this going to be a time where people give you a pat on the back and say, good job? No, not really. Not really at all. People might look at it and actually start taking you by eyes, start being a bit more vengeful, because they're going to be like, well, why are you successful and I'm not? And this is going to be something that can be complex. This is going to be something that is intense. This is something that we need to be aware of, that we need to embrace our craft, what we are sculpting and creating, and what we desire within our life for ourselves. And it leads us to really looking at this maze and saying, well, how the heck am I moving forward? Where am I going? And this is again telling us to rely on our traditions, to rely on who we innately are. Again, it's not our cultural traditions, not religious traditions. It is saying what makes up my identity, what makes up me. Now, it can be these things can be completely intertwined with our cultural identity, with our religious identity, but there is also this need to step back and step into our soul and into ourselves and say, what do I desire? What do I not want? What do I not want? Where am I headed? Why am I headed there? What are my plans? Where do I want to be? And we're going to find, because we do have this tendency to want to rebel because of Mars, Quincus, Uranus, and we want to rebel hard against everything. If we step into ourselves more, if we become open and loving with ourselves, if we become compassionate in a time where it is so easy to throw compassion out the window and say, you know what, screw it. It's all about me. It's all about getting ahead. That's it, period, end of discussion. If we can move forward with compassion, if we can move forward with love for ourselves first and foremost, and for those around us, all of a sudden we're slaying dragons. We're slaying demons. We are breaking through so much trauma and drama that has held us back, and we're finding our voice. The King of Swords, he does not mess around. He is not playing at all. He is the warrior king. He is the one who's going to get done what needs to be get done so that we can elevate, so that we can move forward, so that we can get to the place that we want to be. And there's power to that. Our hearts and our minds are coming together. It's not going to be all logic, and it's not going to be all emotion. It's going to be a balance of the two. And that's going to be the place that we really want to be. There's going to be this, we can be a little bit blunt and a little bit sharp with our words. We are Sagittarius energy. We can be that anyway. Okay, and we also have Gemini energy here, which can also be that, and Taurus just tends to tell it as it is. So we have that sharpness to us already, because there's going to be a sense of, well, you just need to hear it. And we're going to be that way with ourselves. It's like, well, you just need to hear it, buck it up, keep moving. And there's going to be this sense of, okay, I can sugarcoat things a little bit. I can say things a little bit nicer, because that will move things forward better for me, and with more of a blessing to me during this time. Now, the Four of Pentacles comes in emotionally, and we have this vampiric energy. Now, this can be coping mechanisms from our childhood, where we think, okay, if I do really, really well, if I'm really, really good, then everybody will be calm and happy around me. We're not responsible for another person's happiness. As much as we would like to be, as much as it would be so nice to be able to make another person happy by just doing things really well, that's not why we're here. And that's something that we have to acknowledge, Sagittarius. We also have to acknowledge that the hurtful, hateful words that people said over us, that people spoke over us, it does not get to be our reality. It does not. It does not get to be that we do not get to be successful, because we were denied, because we weren't respected, because people didn't see us, people didn't understand us. There's a point here where we say, all right, I see you. I see the hurt and the pain that you've caused. This could be people, this could be not getting the promotion that we wanted, or not getting the job that we wanted, the person that we were absolutely madly in love with fell in love with somebody else. All the scars that we accumulate over time, or the person we were madly in love with didn't even know that we existed. We look at these scars and we say, I acknowledge you. I acknowledge the journey that I've been on. I acknowledge the hurt and the pain that I've seen within my life. And as I acknowledge this, I embrace me. I embrace me, and I'm bolder, and I am better, and I don't have to hoard away happiness or hoard away success. I get to live it out loud, live it passionately and brilliantly. And it moves us then to the Six of Pentacles. It moves us to us saying in the public arena, I need this to be balanced. I need my life to be balanced. I need my prosperity to be balanced. I need my abundance to be balanced. I am not going to be taken advantage of. And I'm done with people piling things on, or with people taking things away, and me not being recognized. We also have to know that during this time, we can do that to other people too. We can pile it on and expect so much from one person until they start to crack and shatter. We have to be mindful of this. We have to be mindful of the give and take of this. And that's going to be very important during this time, to realize the balance, and to realize that recognizing balance and harmony is a gift. And it brings us to the Emperor. Again, we're not here to mess around. We're not here to play. We're here to get the job done. There's an intensity, there's a ferocity. We're claiming a throne, we're claiming our voice, we're claiming our power. And as we claim this, as we see this, as we acknowledge this within us, we move forward with such focus, with such fire, that nothing and no one stands in our way. And as we acknowledge and see this, we embrace and embolden ourselves. And if we have Aries energy, that's coming through in the public arena. Also the Mars energy of this time, the one that makes us kind of prone to conflict and willing to tell people off, that comes through in the public arena. So we have to be mindful. We have to watch our words and our temper during this time, Sagittarius. Like, no joke. Okay, so let's see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. This one. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh, put this down like that. There we go. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. At our root, we have purity, meditate and contemplate. So the purity of our intentions comes through the calm within us. So the purity also of our love. It's like things have to not have ulterior motives, contingency plans. That type of energy coming forward. It's like, no, purely, what do I love? What do I need? It's like as pure and fresh as untouched snow or untouched fields, And so we're going to see that this needs to be unmarred by others and unmarred by our own expectations for ourselves. It's like, okay, but what do I love and why? Why am I moving forward in this direction? What do I need? What do I desire? And it moves us then to our inner self. And we have nourishment. Prosperity lies ahead. We need to nourish ourselves. We need to take care of ourselves because prosperity lies ahead if we open up that door. And then we have the Taurus energy, the new moon in Taurus coming through. We have the double Hierophant here. The Taurus energy is very, very powerful within this reading. Assessing. Your commitment is being tested. Assess the road in front of you. Assess the trials and the tribulations and the insights and the ideas. Your road is being tested. You are being tested. Well, your commitment to what you want, to your long-term goals is being tested. And that's what we can really be rebelling against. So be mindful of this. Action in the public arena. Bring love into the situation. Love is going to be so important. We're going to be so drawn to bringing force, bringing determination, bringing fire into a situation. We forget about love. We forget about compassion. If we can remember compassion, if we can remember love, if we can make that forefront in our minds and ourselves, all of a sudden that's the action that we absolutely need to take. We have our subconscious Luna message, which is balance. The end of a tough cycle approaches. Yes, the cycle of this new moon, the cycle of the doubts and discord within us. The end of a tough cycle is coming forward, and that brings us balance. But we also need to be balanced to accept the end of this tough cycle. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Princess of Swords. We need to be mindful of our words. We also need to be mindful of our own ignorance and others' ignorance around us. So the Princess and the Knight, or the Prince in this deck, they're not the same as the King and the Queen. They're still developing. They're still growing. And we need to be aware of that. This is going to be a time where we're going to have really great ideas. And we're going to think, wow, nobody ever thought of this before. I can't believe everybody's so stupid. It's like, again, being a 16-year-old and just thinking, we have all the answers. And this is going to be a time where we can really want to act on those answers. But when we look long term, they're not going to be solving the problem the way that we thought they were, or they're not going to be as innovative as we thought they were. So do be mindful of that. It then leads us to our subconscious chakra energy, which is meditation, the crown chakra. We need to meditate. We need to focus on our hearts, on our love, on our passion of what we desire. That, again, that's going to be a game changer. It then moves us to our subconscious rooted energy, and that is temperance. Now that's Sagittarius energy. Our root is really focused on our inner selves, on the very essence of ourselves. We have to be true to us. There are going to be times where, yes, force is needed. There's going to be times where a bit more compassion and meekness is needed. And that's going to be very powerful here. It moves us to our subconscious inner self. And that is the Witch of Air. We need to embrace our voice, embrace our passion, embrace what we desire, embrace what we want, embrace what we need. There is going to be a magic to our words, but also to a focus on the breath and the realization that our breath is so much more powerful than we thought it was. It leads us to our subconscious emotional self, and that's the Three of Pentacles. We need to make sure that we acknowledge the worth of a job well done, that there's a coziness that we're creating for ourselves. Here she is creating a blanket, and there's just a sense of her creating warmth, and that's what we need to do. We need to create warmth. We also need to be mindful of where our money is, and where we're spending our money. That's going to be important too. It moves us to our subconscious public arena self. And then we have the Page of Swords. Now, this says vigilance. Yes, we need to be vigilant of what we learned, of what we know, but we also have to be mindful of our words, of what we desire. We are becoming students of our voice, of cutting through doubts and fears and negativity, and really embracing us. And that's the game changer here. It's also air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. All right, Sagittarius. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this new moon. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Sagittarius, and may you have a blessed moon.